Most people are already dead long before they die. Not physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. They wake up every morning with dreams they no longer chase, goals they no longer believe in, and a future slowly collapsing under the weight of their own hesitation. And the terrifying part is this: most of them don't even notice it happening, because destruction rarely looks violent at first. Sometimes it looks like comfort, like scrolling for just 5 minutes, like saying, "I'll start tomorrow," like convincing yourself you still have time. But while you delay your life, time keeps moving, without mercy. In feudal Japan, there lived a young samurai named Yuki, who believed he was destined for greatness. He imagined himself becoming legendary, a warrior feared by enemies, respected by kings, remembered long after death. Every night he pictured victory, but every morning he avoided training. The sword remained untouched, the body remained weak, the excuses grew stronger. Some days he blamed exhaustion, other days he blamed timing. Sometimes he convinced himself he needed more preparation before beginning. But deep down, the truth was darker. Yuki was not avoiding training because he was lazy. He was avoiding the possibility that he might fail. Because as long as greatness stayed inside his imagination, it could never be destroyed by reality. And this is where most people unknowingly ruin their lives. They become addicted to potential, addicted to imagining the person they could become, instead of confronting the pain required to become that person. Dreaming gives temporary satisfaction. Action demands sacrifice. So the mind chooses fantasy. Over time, Yuki became a prisoner of his own thoughts. He read books about discipline while remaining undisciplined. He spoke about ambition while accomplishing nothing. He planned endlessly while other warriors trained. And slowly, a horrifying gap formed between who he imagined himself to be and who he truly was. That gap became suffering, because nothing destroys a human being faster than watching their own potential rot in front of them. Years passed. The boys who once trained beside him became stronger, sharper, more dangerous. Their movements carried certainty. Their discipline became effortless. Meanwhile, Yuki remained trapped at the beginning. Not because he lacked intelligence, not because he lacked talent, because he waited. And time punishes people who wait. Every day he delayed action, his future weakened. Every excuse felt harmless in the moment, but repeated for years, excuses became identity. That is the true danger of procrastination. It does not steal your future all at once. It steals it quietly. One wasted morning, one distracted afternoon, one comfortable decision at a time. The samurai understood something modern people desperately try to avoid. Your mind cannot always be trusted. Feelings change constantly. Motivation disappears quickly. Comfort always sounds convincing. If action depends on emotion, discipline dies the moment life becomes difficult. That is why ancient warriors trained regardless of how they felt. They trained in cold rain. They trained through exhaustion. They trained when their bodies ached and their minds begged them to stop. Because they understood a brutal truth. The man who only acts when he feels motivated will accomplish very little in life. Motivation is fragile. Discipline is dangerous. Miyamoto Musashi understood this better than anyone. While others searched for inspiration, Musashi surrendered himself to repetition. One strike. Again. 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 Not because it was exciting, because mastery is born through monotony. This is what weak people never understand. They want the reward without the repetition, the confidence without the struggle, the transformation without the discomfort. But everything valuable has a price. Strength costs pain. Discipline costs comfort. Growth costs diversion of you that wants to remain safe. And most people refuse to pay. So they spend their entire lives waiting for a magical moment where action suddenly feels easy. That moment never comes. The truth is, the beginning always feels heavy. The gym feels heavy. The work feels heavy. The routine feels heavy. But something strange happens when you continue anyway. The mind adapts. Pain becomes normal. Discipline becomes identity. Action becomes automatic. And eventually, the same things that once felt impossible become part of who you are. That transformation is available to everyone, but very few people reach it, because most surrender too early. They obey every emotion, every craving, every distraction. They become servants to comfort. And comfort is one of the most dangerous addictions on earth, because comfort never announces its consequences immediately. It whispers instead. Rest today. Start later. You deserve a break. And while you listen, your future slowly disappears. One evening, Yuki stood outside the dojo watching younger warriors train beneath the fading light. Their swords moved like extensions of their bodies, sharp, precise, effortless. Everything he once dreamed of becoming now existed inside other men. That realization shattered him. Not because life was unfair, because he finally understood the truth. The future he wanted had been available the entire time. He simply never became strong enough to claim it. And in that moment, Yuki realized a terrifying thing. The pain of discipline ends, but regret does not. Regret follows you into old age. It sits beside you in silence. It forces you to watch the life you could have lived replay endlessly inside your mind. That is why the samurai feared wasted potential more than death itself. Because dying without becoming who you were capable of becoming is its own kind of tragedy. So if you are waiting for motivation to change your life, stop waiting. Motivation is temporary. Feelings are unreliable. And time is running out faster than you think. Start tired. Start uncertain. Start afraid. But start. Because every day you delay action, you train yourself to remain weak. And every difficult action you take, you reclaim control over your mind. The samurai knew destiny is not built through emotion. It is built through repetition. One choice, one habit, one act of discipline repeated long after motivation dies. So stop waiting for inspiration. Pick up the sword and become dangerous.